Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always, it's Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
And we welcome all of our viewers inside a place that the folks around here like to call the Vault. And that's Bank of America Stadium in uptown Charlotte. A short time ago, a scene that never fails to stir up the folks here in Charlotte. Cam Newton strutting his way onto the field. His guys are fired up as they get set to go toe-to-toe with the New Orleans Saints. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Panther ball club as they enter play here. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Saints, they come in the midst of a pretty bad stretch here, losers of 5 straight.
So many different reasons teams hit the losing skids, but the best way out of it, something has to happen positive early in the game.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Time with Alvin Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
Here's Rodgers to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up third. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Over the middle, complete. That's Gibson. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Give him 35 yards there on the 3rd down conversion.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
To throw is Rodgers. He's got a man open. It's Cameron Meredith. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A good pickup there at 22. And defensively, these corners struggled last week. They're struggling again here early on the opening drive.
And you know that was not unnoticed on tape. So when they saw their struggle last week, guaranteed that went right into the game plan. Attack them early, see if they're going to play any better. And if not, you keep the pressure on them until things change.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Sometimes play calls boil down to philosophy. You know you're facing one of the top 10 units against the run in the NFL. So do you decide to keep smashing against them, or do you decide to throw the ball here?
False start, offense.
Yeah, maybe they were coming with a blitz that time, and it caused a jump.
I think if we saw it, you know that they saw it. Might have been a little discussion down there. Bad guys coming, pick them up, pick them up. And someone jumped.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
Tough spot here, 3rd and 18, following back-to-back running plays that went in the wrong direction. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And Reed with it over the middle. And certainly some style points there on the spin. Not a whole lot thereafter, but still a pretty good game.
Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
And Lutz's kick is good. And the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. So a nice opening drive on the road. You get the 3 points. Part of you wonders if that might hurt them later not getting into the end zone.
Well, the good thing is, still first quarter, and they did come out of it with points. In a sense, they can look at it positively and say, hey, we set the pace in this one. I think that's how they'll go about it.
This will be fielded at the 8. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. So here are the Panthers now for their opening drive. They'll have Cam Newton calling the shots, the big man under center at 6'5", nearly 250 pounds.
I loved his quote during the week. If I were a defensive back, I would have wanted to play against me last week as well. He's trying to eliminate those turnovers, those interceptions, and get back on the positive side of the ledger throwing touchdown passes.
Yeah, had 4 of those picks, led to the loss. So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. Now a handoff looking right. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 10 yards there to start the drive, and just enough by about the length of the football for a first down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40. And the big boys up front in the trenches. What do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Do something. Gun.
First carry for Christian McCaffrey. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one 28 yards on the ground.
And that's why defense coordinators always preach 11 guys to the ball. Because sometimes you have a missed tackle, but if you have a swarm of guys around, less room for them to roam even after the first missed tackle. In this case, tackle was missed, plenty of open field to get after that.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off of the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Now they face a 3rd down and 4 after that incompletion on 2nd down. Out of the gun, Newton. And Wilson has it. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. First catch for him. It's good for a dozen and a first down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
A first red zone opportunity for the Panthers thus far. It's 1st and 10 at the 14. Now they try the right side here. And they'll go backwards here, losing yardage to the 14. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Ninth play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on 3rd and long. Now Newton. Eluding the pressure right. And he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they'll have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So a return of serve, so to speak, here on the 2nd drive of our game as they respond to that opening field goal with 3 of their own.
I like that. Going a little tennis on me,
I know you. You like to mix it up with sports.
They crack a forehand back out, and they get a backhand. What was the return on?
It was a backhand.
I like that
really
one.
Good backhand.
With some nice top spin on the whole
little bit.
I love it. Almost a mirror image when you really get down to it. I thought that was pretty good stuff.
319!
They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. We haven't seen much from him running the football here in this first quarter.
No, you're right about that. We haven't seen much of him at all so far. They've stacked him up pretty well, but when you're trying to run the football, sometimes you got to play the long game. Keep handing it to him, and some of those runs that aren't working now, they turn into 6, 7, 8, and maybe more later on.
And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup. And now they've got a 3rd down and 8.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Throwing right, and that's complete. 20, 10, touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6.
I think if you pulled defensive backs, they would say the corner route, take that out, make it illegal, because that is so hard to recognize and so hard to adjust, because your first move is to not get beat in the middle of the field, and that's how they move you first before they break off to the corner.
But then as the wide receiver, great job. It's tough to turn those upfield and go, but he did a great job with it there.
Really good balance, really good body control, and how about the end result? A touchdown.
So Newton and the Panthers come up now 1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. From the gun, here's Newton. And he's taken down here by the Saints. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket. With my good friend Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin with you. It's the Panthers in possession of the football as we begin quarter number 2. But they face a 2nd and long to start things out.
Hey, boys, gun. 20. Hey.
Newton now to throw. And he's got a man on the crossing route. That's Moore. It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a 1st down on the play. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. A solid run on 1st down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he's going to take this across the 50 and into Saints territory. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead him to 3rd down.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. Now a handoff here to his running back. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. It'll wind up being a loss of 2, and it'll be 4th down.
Another down on the scoreboard, but the urge to go for it is almost irresistible here on 4th and short. Yeah, I know they're on their own side of the field.
I was going to say.
Normally I would say punt the ball away, but I'm feeling...
And now the Saints get set to trot out there. They're starting to put some space here. You know, first quarter, they didn't look so hot offensively. This second quarter, though, they've looked really good.
They've jumped in the saddle in a big way now, and now they're in full gallop. I mean, before, kind of cantering around a little bit, right, trying to feel their way, not getting done what they wanted to. But somehow they put it together with play calling, execution, and now there's a pretty big gap.
And they'll look to make that gap even bigger here. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. Able to bust through the tackle, but not much to show for it. Still inside the 5. He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Great blocking, nearly sprung in there. 28-yard return, and the offense will take over. With a new set of downs. Carolina getting set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Off the play fake. Fields. And to the left side here, Wilson. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. 3rd and short, blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
And he takes it down to the 40 with a pickup of 4. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
To throw on 2nd down. Fields. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It'll be a gain of 6, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
And they'll run it here. And he gets gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
We all love to have a home run hitter in the backfield. Guy can take it the distance. But in short yardage, trying to pick up first downs, that big guy, always a nice luxury to have, isn't he?
Oh, that was dangerous. Threw it into coverage, almost picked, but instead they'll keep it on 2nd down.
Pretty nice coverage there, but a missed opportunity for an interception. Let's face it, a lot of these defenders, they've got it all. Speed, athleticism, hands, a little bit questionable.
And they'll go with a ground attack here. And he'll get it down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll set up a 3rd down. Off play action. Fields. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And he'll try and throw here on the fake. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. Well, that was a long attempt to begin with, so the fake you might have known was somewhat of a possibility. Credit to the defense, though. They weren't fooled.
You're right, they weren't fooled, and they were in a position of having to play it both ways. Guard for the fake, but you still want to rush the kicker because it was a makeable kick. So they ended up getting the best out of the whole thing. Stuffed the fake, and they take over the ball.
Over the middle, that's caught by Meredith. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. 1st down.
As a passer, you're always trying to find that open window to throw the ball downfield. How about this one? Right in the middle of the field, right in the heart of a defense.
Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Here's Rodgers. Quick throw that's complete on the inside slant. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. Throw left side is complete to Reed. That one goes for 24 yards.
It's so important to tackle well against these guys, but you and I both know that's easier said than done when the guy you're trying to tackle looks like this guy.
And it's usually going to take more than one man to get him down, and it did right there. Working from the gun, Rodgers. And incomplete, he dropped it in the end zone.
When you got your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
It's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. Rodgers again now. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the 1st half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
They'll try to run it in. It's Kamara. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. And now we get a timeout called on the defensive side of the ball by the Panthers, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And Lutz puts this one through. And they will stretch their lead to 10 now at 13-3. No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Now here's the signal caller getting ready to lead this offense again. He has not had the game that he envisioned. His team has not had the game that they've envisioned here. So how do they turn this around now?
Well, right now what he's looking forward to doing is finding a way to get the added weight on his back. Is it like that monkey that Steve Young was talking about? Remember that in the Super Bowl?
Oh, the 95 Super Bowl.
Right, when they beat the Chargers, and, he had that weight of expectations and past greats on his back. In this case, it's just bad play. Can he shake it off and then be able to play loose and free and help his team out?
We'll see if he can do just that. So they saw the contact before the ball arrived. Penalty flag for pass interference.
And trying to avoid pass interference is so difficult. You're trying to slow down these skilled receivers, and somehow, some way, they make plays on the football, and sometimes you're there too soon.
Back to throw. Fields. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Cameron Jordan able to get him for a loss of about 3.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. Looking to throw on second down. Fields. Looking right side. That's caught by Moore. A very nice pickup of 33 yards.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a change-up in baseball. You show your...
And he takes it into the end zone for a Panthers touchdown. It's their quarterback. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Panthers are able to get this back within a touchdown.
I think everyone in the league talks about finishing, don't they? Doesn't matter whether it's a quarter, a half, a game, a series, whatever. But they're finishing the first half in fine style, putting that one in the end zone.
They did, and they didn't leave much time on the clock either. Well done. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Aaron Rodgers, he's getting ready to go again here on offense. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Brandon, they didn't get everything they wanted out of that play, but the tight end did. And I don't mean it in a positive way. Great job of him holding on after absorbing that big hit.
So the second half upon us sooner than we bargained for. Week 7, second half. Let's do it. This will be fielded at the 6. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Out come the Panthers. They'll have it first on offense in the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. The Saints say they have it, and they do. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. And a nice pick up there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Rodgers to throw on second down. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football, had to eat it, and ended up on the ground.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Here come the Panthers now, set to take over on offense. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over. Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on 1st down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
It'll be a pickup of a couple, and it leaves them with a 3rd and 3.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Green, 39! Green!
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he's got his man on the out route. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through, picking up the first. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about.
Intentional grounding, offense.
Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and, of course, they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Off the play fake. Fields. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield, but that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Fields. And incomplete on the deep ball.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They run it again with Kamara. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. Give him 9 on the play, and that's going to bring up a fourth down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion. What you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
Carolina getting set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without...
Touchdown, Carolina! A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers have tied this game up. They can take the lead with the extra point. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call. But he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trite expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe they'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd and 12.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
On second down, Kamara. It's a gain of maybe 3, but it's going to leave him with still about 8 or 9 to go on third down.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
The Saints on third down, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Jordan Reed has it. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. A pickup of 24 on the third down conversion.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around and make the play on the football.
To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Back to the ground, it's Kamara. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that's going to lead to a third down.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right, he's pretty much been completely neutralized.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. And a manageable third down becomes a lot less manageable. 3rd and 7 after the false start.
319.
Rodgers operating from the gun. Gets it to Meredith, complete. Nothing doing on that one, and it'll be 4th down. The defense loves to hang their hat on that, don't they? You get a guy that catches the ball, but you stop him for no gain.
Without a doubt, because they're also used to trying to catch people after the catch, and they miss. And that turns into what? A huge play. We've seen it so many times. In this case, though, catch was made, put down right on the spot.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward.
Automatic first down.
Now, to be frank, a silly penalty there trying to block the field goal, and that leads to a fresh set of downs.
319.
A give. This is Kamara. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
319.
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. And it's caught. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. 19 yards on the pickup there, and now they'll have it 1st and goal. And we're back now in Charlotte. And we've got a dandy here. A 1-point game as we begin the 4th. And the question now, how do they want to work the clock here on 1st and goal? A field goal would give them the late lead.
319.
They'll run it with Kamara. And he takes it across and into the end zone. Touchdown, Saints. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter. And Charles, he's able to dive in there in a short yardage situation.
Just find a place to get to the end zone. Didn't matter where it was, but once he did, used his nose for the end zone and dove in.
Defensively, certainly not fooled there. Play started at the 2, and he was tackled at the 2.
That has to feel good for them. Not happy about having given up the touchdown, but stopping the 2-point conversion gives them a little bit of a lift as they head to the bench.
Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. And following that long touchdown pass, a 1-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball, how much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll get get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. A good pickup there, 26 yards. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Watch him now, Barney.
And they'll go on the ground. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
And here he'll get it down to the 7. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal.
No, check, Patriot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. Not even a chance to pitch that one as he's swallowed up in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
Gone!
Now this time he'll look to throw. Hard throw, incomplete.
I know every offense wants to start their snaps closer to the goal line, but it's actually harder to throw the ball in those situations. You throw into that tight coverage, you see what happens. Hard to get the ball in there.
Not enough space there. Lucky maybe that it wasn't intercepted. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And that is incomplete. They're turned away on 4th and goal. And the Saints able to come up with a goal line stand. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Brady. And he'll be out of bounds up past the 10-yard line. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Well, he caught it right at the line of scrimmage, and before he could even think about advancing it forward, he got hit.
Great tackling, because that's what you're taught. Don't give up yards after the catch, and most offenses make a living off of yards after catch. Those hidden yards that may not go into the score sheet, but they count big for moving the ball and stretching the field. Really nice open field tackle.
And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. That'll go as a loss of 5, and that'll bring up 4th down. I hate to surrender the football when you're nursing a slim lead, but they're going to have to punt it away. Trust that defense.
It's the right play at this stage of the game as well. You don't need to press it here because you do have that little bit of a cushion, and you count on your D to make it stand up.
Here are the Panthers now as their offense comes back out onto the field. And last time, they had it 4th and goal, rolled the dice, didn't get it. Now they've got to put that behind them, try to put together another drive.
A simple tip of the cap, a nod of the head to the defense. Congratulations, you got us last time. But you didn't hold us the whole time. We got down to position. We were able to be in position to score. Let's go ahead and attack again. Continue to have that kind of confidence. Not worry about the one play that didn't allow them to get into the end zone.
And this time they'll be trying to get it into the end zone. We'll see what they do. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. 18 yards there, and it'll be a 1st and goal. Only way to get the lead here, of course, with a touchdown, and that's what they're gunning for on 1st and goal.
Detroit!
From the gun, Fields. The quick slant caught. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. And he probably should have given that one off as he's going to get hit and taken down behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Fields steps up, and the Panthers in for the score. He's given him a little jolt, just gave him the lead there, but 2 TDs now in the game.
And that jolt puts them in the lead. What a terrific job by him. He is carrying the ball and simply saying, I want to win.
And now he's hoping his defense has that mentality as they try to hang on to that lead. Looking to throw. Fields. And he is into the end zone to bump the lead up 2 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs, and that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. This drive starting off on the right foot. 18 yards. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Rodgers now on 1st down. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Reed. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. A gain of 6 there on 1st. Back to throw. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And he's got this down to the 35. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. 1st down now, but that clock rolling. Back to throw. And his throw is incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
He'll look to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Defense.
Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all. Now your discipline comes into question. Having poise, this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. The busy night continues for Kamara. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. He's back to throw. This is caught. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for 3rd down. They'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Took their shot at going for the win, didn't get it. Now bring on the field goal unit, tie this thing.
It's the right call. I truly believe that. But if I'm on defense, I'm also staying a little loose here in case they wanted to be really aggressive and fake it.
And Lutz's kick is good. And that will tie this game here in the final minute of play. So a big kick to get this back to even. Yet now the worry is, did you leave too much time on the clock? Because another field goal the other way, that does you in.
You're exactly right. You didn't get into overtime yet. So now as a defense, you've got to think to yourself, you can't play prevent defense and just give up big chunks of yardage in front of you. But you also can't let anyone behind you. So you sit right on the line between the two, play the best defense you can, and not make it easy for them to move the ball downfield.
On 1st and 10, Fields. Wilson snags it left side. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 7 yards the pickup on the pitch and catch. Clock now under 30, ticks and running. Back to throw. Fields. They find some open field here. Got a man right side. It's McCaffrey. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the ball game. A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. They'll try and sneak it here. And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. It's their quarterback with time running out. And the Panthers have broken our tie as they take the lead.
And that score in this time frame, that's like a big reveal at the end of a great movie, isn't it? Out of nowhere, almost, it appears, they get it done. How about that score?
Finishes like this is why we love sports. This is why we love the game of football.
So glad that we got to be here to watch this one.
This is taken at his 4. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. So they'll quickly now signal for the timeout. And it's definitely not looking good, but at least they'll have one final play to hope for that miracle and get him in the end zone. One final try now for Rodgers. That one caught by Gibson. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Panthers, their good start continues as they get their record up to 4-2. And they'll have a few extra days here now before they face the Lions next week. Meanwhile, for New Orleans, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll get an extra week